himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so knew off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here, but I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down in towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton far enough ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's allowed to have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. And the Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, look at the Tyson! They haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such chopper. He's not a second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it! Big Barry! Good afternoon and welcome to the iFormula League Season 6 F3 Series Round 3 live from Silverstone. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be here with Steve Karabelas this afternoon, who's going to be guiding us through all the action at the Festival of Speed, the home of British motorsport, Silverstone. 5.8 kilometres in length here and 18 turns, including Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, and down into Stowe, the most famous corners on this circuit as well. But it has been an absolute incredible barnstorming qualifying at the moment, with Alex Johnson out in front for the Alcantech NHR, with Lee Aberdeen in second. We are just coming, we've got about 5 minutes left of quali here as well, and it's been an interesting one so far. You can see all the times on the left hand side at the moment as well on a 150.660. Here's Johnson with Aberdeen on a 159.37. Welcome in, Steve. How are you, young sir?
Well, thank you very much. Pleasure to be here. Looking forward to another fantastic race at Silverstone. Like you say, iconic track. And always makes for some great racing. Very wide circuit. There's lots of places to overtake. I'm looking forward to a smashing race.
Yeah, it should actually be incredible here. Cameron, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, we do have a feature of 21 laps and then a sprint of 5 laps with the top 12 inverted here as well. And in the championship at the moment, Alex Johnson is out in front by 92 points, with Frederick Larson behind on 57. Marian Barbaro is on 56 and Jake Potts is on 53, who took a win last time out as well. So it's been an interesting season so far. Obviously, we've come in at season 3, round 3, there, Steve. So we've been trying to play a little bit of catch up with this series currently at the moment as well, haven't we?
Yeah, certainly. But it looks like Johnson is leading the charge at the moment, leading this championship already. 2 wins out of the 4 races, only 2 feature races, 2 sprint races in that. But he also won the championship last season as well. So he's odds-on favourite for this one. But the constructors, all to play for still. Anybody could win that one. And yeah, Silverstone, it's a tricky track to get right as well. It looks easy on paper, but a lot of these corners are very tricky to get right, and to do them fast is the main thing as well, particularly down in Brooklands and Luffield down there. That tight right-hander can catch a lot of people out if they get the line wrong. Going to see a number of different lines from the drivers here, I believe, as well. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Looking at the times here on the boards, they're not quite there in terms of the lap record, which is held by Logan Sargent of F1 fame at the moment. Maybe infamy rather than fame, where he sits at the moment in F1. But he got the lap record around here in 2019 with a 145.692. So we're some way off that in this qualifying session, but I imagine that's just down to maybe track changes or car changes. It was a long time ago, 2019. Makes me feel old.
It definitely was as well. Don't forget here, guys, as well, the feature race will consist of 40% of real F1 race length. The top 18 drivers in the F3 Series will earn championship points for themselves and teams. Then after the feature race, we go into a 5-minute warm-up, and then we do an F1 style sprint race, which will be 10% of the real F1 length race that will take place after the feature race. The starting grid of the sprint, as well as we know, will be that top 12 reverse. So it's going to be exciting. We've got 2 races lined up here ready to go. We're coming into the last few minutes really of qualifying. What are we expecting here, though, Steve? Because obviously F3s, they're quite nippy. That little air intake valve on the side, you know, they're going to be there or thereabouts, close together, I think, as well. And with only a second separating first and 11th, it could be quite a close one.
Yeah, this is going to be tight. We're going to see trains of drivers going around the track all together in packs. And the slipstream in these cars is going to be pretty powerful, I would imagine. And that's going to make it difficult for the guy leading the pack to get away. So I'm looking forward to some tight wheel-to-wheel racing. And hopefully not short of a little bit of drama as well. But we've got a few drivers here who are maybe just a cut above the rest. But yeah, like you say, so tight between this field. I get the feeling we're going to see some great racing. And yeah, it's interesting to note the championship points as well. You're going to get a championship point for the fastest lap, which is not unheard of. You also get a championship point here for finishing the race with 0 X's as well. If there's nobody with 0 X's, then whoever gets the lowest gets that championship point also. So it's going to pay to be safe, and I like that from the league owners. I like that kind of bonus for being clean. You don't normally see that. Normally it's all about punishment for not being clean. I like to see it the other way. But it's worth mentioning as well that one lucky driver in this grid is going to get a Butt Kicker Pro for attendance, essentially, along with the winner of the championship, who's also going to get a Butt Kicker Pro and a virtual trophy. So there's a lot of great stuff going on there in terms of prizes for doing well.
Yeah, definitely. But here is the grid from the feature. Alex Johnson will be in first, with Lee Aberdeen in second. On row 2, it's Mackenzie Roon and Tygo Krigsman. In row 3, Marion Barbaro and Kevin Vermont. In row 4 is Victor Solano and Rachel Jimenez. And then in row 9, it's Romain Ratu in 9th. Then Andre Salander in 10th. Jake Potts in 11th. And Eric Leroy down in 12th. Then Frederick Larson, Jeff Schroeder, Darius Rakauskas, Weston Epps, Alexander Shana, Arturo Mayorga, Randolph Smith, Carlos Navarro, Dominatus Cliore and Vacaris Villius is at the back of the field here as well. So it's going to be an exciting one. Let's see how these drivers get on here as well for this F3. Should be, for sure, be a good race. F3s know how to get the job done. It says, do you guys have a live timing link like yesterday? There should be one in the description below. If not, I will provide one for you here as well. So just bear with us for 2 seconds while I get that up and running. But hopefully I will have one in time for the start of the race. And as if by magic, hopefully there should be one coming very, very soon here as well. But I will get one sorted out for you currently at the moment as well. Just try and do that in the background. So just bear with us. And hey, presto, there's one there. If we can take that other one out, and I'm not sure what that one is, but the lights are coming on here as well. Alex Johnson is on pole position. We're going to be up and running very, very shortly. And here we go, the lights out, and it's away we go. Johnson got off the start line with Lee Aberdeen in second, Mackenzie Roon in third, Krigsman fourth, Barbaro in fifth. And it is that top 6 breakaway there with Kevin Vermont as they go rushing down into Village now. Round the right-hander, Alex Johnson out in front. Carlos Navarro has been off track here as well. Romain Ratu is dropping a little bit down the order, but up 3 is Andre Salander as they go racing off round through Aintree now and then down into Brooklands and Lovefield. Vermont and Barbaro just swap positions. Barbaro there now sitting in 6th place, but it is Alex Johnson out in front, and everybody at the moment got away cleanly.
Yeah, one person spinning at the back there into farm, but its biggest gainer here is Andre Salander, who's gained 4 positions off that start. What a start from him. And Victor Solano down 8 positions, not gone his way so far. But a nice clean start. Everybody's managed to get themselves into single file and into a nice, lovely little order to start the race proper.
Yeah, Vermont and Krigsman with Zalander behind them as well. Barbaro behind that, who has got Rachel Jimenez tucked up right behind them currently as well. So this is going to be an interesting battle as these guys go racing off through Maggots and Beckett's here on lap 1 before they go on to Chapel. Down the hangar straight they will go, and it's going to be interesting to see how these guys get on as we jump onto the rear right of Barbaro now. Andre Zalanda is in front of us. We are closing. They are weaving left and right currently to try and break that toe. In front, Kriegsman and Rune is also going at each other here as well with Rachel Vermont as they go running down Vale, down into Club Chicane. She's going to look up the inside on the left hand net. Nothing done on that one. Going to look for the outside here, Steve, outside of Club, and on that run down into Abbey.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult at this stage to get past, but this is the start of the race. This is the best place to make up big amounts of positions. But it's a 155.6 from Alex Jonsson there. Fastest lap by almost 8/10 of a second there. So he's on a charge, and he's looking to try and create a gap early doors.
Yeah, Navarro looks like he's in the pits, unfortunately, there as well. So Kevin Navarro, unfortunately, looks like he's had to go into the pit lane after his earlier incident. We're going to have a quick look back and see what he got up to here. And it was literally off the start for Carlos Navarro. What did you do off the start? Oh, there was contact there, unfortunately. He goes spinning back across the track and ends up at the back end of the field there, Steve. Not an ideal way to be starting this race.
No, certainly not, but he does have a fast repair available to him, as everybody does. They'll get one fast repair for this race and another one for the sprint afterwards as well. So hopefully he can get back and going, but 27 seconds off the field, he needs something big to happen. We do have a caution car, or a safety car, if that's what you want to call it, here this evening, and that can be pulled out at any time by race control. At their whim. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and if that's going to come out in order to give Navarro a chance to catch back up. But as it stands at the moment, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if they pull it out for a one-car incident. I would, if there was a huge crash, I'd get down into turn 1. Then yeah, go for it. You know what I mean? But Victor Solano is going for it here. Currently at the moment, he's just gone past Jeff Schroeder on that run down into Stowe now. And unfortunately for Schroeder, he's got Weston Epps closing right up behind him as well. Is he going to be looking up that inside? Goes on the defence to Schroeder, forces Epps to go round the outside, who does say, thank you very much, I'll have it anyway. And Epps got through on the outside of Vale, of the Club Chicane there, and did an absolutely stellar job. And now he's right on the back of Solano.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit spicy here between these drivers. I'm loving the driving standards so far. Everybody seems to be very clean and respectful, and I like to see that. But this man here is on a charge, and he's going very deep now. Whoa, that was the vortex of danger, and he's back in it again, wheel banging into the side pod there as he gets the move done in an aggressive manner there. He's not taking no for an answer, is he? He's got the position though, but now he's going to have to defend it down the Wellington Straight and into Brooklands. But he's going to try and go around the outside here. Is Epps, and is he going to get this done? No, he's run out of room, ran out of speed, and that's move done for Epps. What aggression there. I'll love to see that.
Yeah, Epps and Solano going at each other full bore here. Kevin Vermont is also been under attack there, and currently sitting in the middle between Andre Zalanda and Barbaro, who is also putting pressure on him as well as they come down into Maggots and Beckett's. They're going to swoop left, then they're going to swoop to the right-hander here through turn 12, and then coming out of Beckett's, the last right-hander before they go round Chapel and onto that hangar straight. And now, here we go. This could be Barbaro's opportunity. He's got to close up. He's closing. He's closing. Is he going to be able to get through on Stowe? He pulls out on the left-hand side. He's looking up that inside line. There's moves behind as well with Jimenez here, who is currently under attack from Larson and Ratu. And if not careful, is going to lose it now to try and go on the outside as well of Club Chicane. Nothing doing there as well for Jimenez currently at the moment. Can't make it through. 151.377 from Johnson up front, who basically is just currently unchallenged. The battles are really kicking off here, Steve, from 4th all the way down into 7th.
Yeah, we said it was going to be tight, and it's proved to be right as well. But Alex Jonsson hasn't looked back since a great start off the line. Nobody really able to challenge him. A second now, the gap, 1.2 seconds, the gap out in front for him. But still a long way to go just yet, and lots of racing to be had. A safety car could change that altogether, but look at the kind of racing we're getting here between these fellas in the midfield pack. Already going all the way to the left to defend on the Wellington straight. Squeezes wide as well, and almost contact there, and that's pushed Barbaro out wide and allowed Weimont to get back through, I believe. So this is tight racing. One mistake, one little push wide, and you can lose a position to the guy behind you that you weren't even fighting with. So it's tense stuff so far.
Yeah, Potts now, he's going to have a try at Barbaro as well as they're coming down now into that famous Cops Corner before they sweep off into the complex, one of the most loved complex in motorsport here as well. They go round turn 10, through Maggers they go, over the curb, round turn 12, and then coming up into Beckett's here as well. I've got a funny feeling Barbaro's got a bad run out of Beckett's. It could put him under attack here from Potts on that run down now. Down the hangar straight they go, under the Johnny Walker Bridge. Is he going to be looking up the inside here, or is Barbaro being saved from the draft in front there, Steve? Oh, Potts get it under control. Does get it under control, and is now going down Vale, down into Club, and I think these four are going to be as they were here, Steve. But you know, it's dangerous now for Barbaro. He's under pressure from Potts. Vermont got through. Zalander got through as well after Zalander just kind of gave him a little bit of a, I'll have that space, thank you very much there, dear sir. So it's all getting very, very tight in the middle.
Yeah, Solander's on an absolute charge. 5 positions gained. He's gone from P10 at the start of the grid to P5. He's doing a brilliant job so far. I do not want to commentate as curse the man, but you've got to call out great racing when you see it. He's been aggressive and he's been on the charge. He's maybe not done the kind of lap times in qualifying that maybe he expects from himself, and thought to himself, I need to start well here and get this underway early. But these guys are still battling all the way. It's starting to kind of settle down a little bit, but there's a dive to the inside. Nothing doing, though. He just doesn't get on the brakes early enough, and he wants to be careful that he doesn't leave the door open to Ratao behind. So, because that's very easily done here around in these tight packs. You make one mistake, go a little wide, as Potts did there in Stowe. It can really open the door for somebody to stick their nose in and cause you a problem. We're going to see the majority of overtakes here, I believe, down the Wellington straight into Brooklands, or down the Hangar straight into Stowe. And if you defend that inside line into Stowe, it makes it very difficult for the person to go around the outside, but it does give them then the inside, the opportunity for the inside at least, into Vale and Club, which is another great overtaking spot, as we saw somebody already making a fantastic move around the outside in Club. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more moves like that. These guys are showing us some fantastic skill here this evening in the F3 cars.
Yeah, they definitely are, and they're still attacking each other at the moment. They're trying to close up. They're in that kind of infamous draft train that we talk about, Steve. You know, that you mentioned it earlier on as well, that vortex of danger where they can basically leave the door open, and unfortunately they can't get, you know, they close it, but the person's already had a dive. I think that's one of the things we've got to be careful of as well with that vortex, is they've got to make that definitive move here currently at the moment. Vermont has got Barbaro tucked up right behind him. Just can't leave that door open. You just cannot leave that door open a little bit, even if you think it's going to be coming back at him there. And unfortunately for Vermont, he gets a little bit out of shape going through Village. They're not through Loop. Now he's going to be tucked up out of Aintree, down on that Wellington straight now. Barbaro's going to have a go. He's got to have a go here. Surely he's tucked up. Vermont on the defensive on the right hand side of your screen. Barbaro nothing doing there, and I am surprised that he didn't have more of a go at him, because he just kind of backed off a little bit there as well, away from Vermont. They allowed Vermont to take his line, but the problem is for Barbaro, he's still there. He's still behind him, and he's still got Potts chasing him down as well.
Yeah, it's difficult to get the overtake. Oh, that's a late move there from Barbaro into Cops, but dangerous place to make a move, Cops, as we all know. And there is another man, Radigo, coming hard to figure this out. This is a bad place to go side by side. Maggots and Beckett's, though, and that is the result. He goes spearing off the track and spinning back onto it as well, but manages to rejoin safely without collecting anybody. Great car control there, but maybe a bit of an untowards rejoin there. Maybe had to go around the curb there, but he's lost out a couple of positions there, Barbaro, and that is not what he wanted at all. But that is the nature of these tight, packed feels it's one mistake, one little push wide, 4 positions lost.
Yeah, exactly, and it's unfortunately for Barbaro now. Scott Jimenez trying to come up the inside at the moment. Nothing doing there as well. There's been a little bit of a incident at the back with Alexander Shana, I believe, who's been taken off tracks and has got themselves involved in a little bit of an incident here as well. Now, what did Shana do? That's going to be the question. Alexander Shana, I've got a funny feeling this could be all on his own. Round that, yeah, it was just all on his own, and unfortunately the back end of that F3 did get a little bit loose, and that unfortunately has dropped Shana. Shana's now into the pits. Oh, Epps has gone round as well.
That looked like contact. That looked like a little bit of contact there, but earlier there was Shana. Looked as though he just got the balance of the car all wrong, as Epps is really struggling to get this back onto the track in a nice, comfortable manner.
No.
But yeah, just tapped the rear end of the car in front there. And now he's got to try and make this rejoin as safe as possible, and he does so.
Do you know
well off the racing line.
Do you know the thing is, I don't think there was contact. If you have a look.
Oh, there wasn't. Yeah,
no, it just goes
angle. Yeah, it
goes
from
all
the front
around.
angle.
Yeah, it looked like there was
just a bit too.
Yeah, too excited. But yeah, he just put too much loud on the loud pedal.
He was definitely very close for the overtake there as well. So just trying to get that throttle planted too early there to try and get a great exit, and yeah, it's cost him big time there. He was up there running with the best of them, and now he's got work to do. But we've got more action here. Magnussen Beckett's not the place to go side by sides. Better to just back off a bit in Magnussen Beckett's. Wait for the best exit you can get out of Chapel and get the move done down into Stowe. But again, very difficult to get the move down into Stowe if the man in front defends the inside. But going for that lunge up the inside is definitely a move worth doing into Stowe. If you can get your wheels alongside before the turn-in point, which is very easy to do, especially if you go for that late lunge there. Yeah. It's impossible for them to turn in and take the racing line. But you can definitely come back at people through club. It's, the nature of this fantastic racing track is that it really allows racing to take part, unlike some tracks on the F1 or F3 calendars that are a bit tighter, a bit more difficult. But we are seeing a little bit of that here in terms of the draft power. If your guy in front of you has the draft, it's almost impossible to get the overtake done with that toe that they get down the line. But if you can force them into a mistake, keep your nose up the inside somewhere, then they will fall off out of that toe, and then that opens the door for you to make the overtake. But at the moment, these guys are doing a fantastic job of keeping things respectful and clean. It's great to see.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now Jimenez has got Solano right behind him at this moment in time. This is your battle for 9th and 10th place. Further down here, you have... Oh, Epps has gone round again. Epps is not having a good time here. Twice, by the looks of it, in the same corner. It is the same one.
This time it's a different reason. He looks like he's just gone a bit wide there, and the car just does not want to get back on the track there. It's the gravel trap on the outside is just pulling the car off the track, making it impossible for him to control it, and then he just disappears. So I imagine he's just gone straight to the pit, give it up, as we've got another man off into the gravel trap. That's Jimenez. Not sure what's happened there, why he's lost that, but that's not ideal for him, and he's lost out to a couple of people there.
Again, on that kind of grass, and then not an ideal scenario there either for Jimenez. 13th at the moment, and now has dropped all the way down the order. So Jimenez also having troubles on the circuit, but let's see what happens here as well. And it's, you know, for Jimenez's point of view, running right up there as well, and now unfortunately battling away down in 12th place, going down with Leroy here as well. Eric Leroy, as these guys go swooping off down through farm into village here as well. Jimenez gets late on the brakes, nearly gets onto the back of Leroy in front. Leroy's with that that vortex of danger where he's left the door wide open. Jimenez nearly had the opportunity there, Steve. Could have popped out the inside, caused himself some danger, but from Leroy's point of view, he did leave that door open.
He certainly did, yeah, and we've seen a lot of that because even if you leave the door open, and there it goes, he's sent it up the inside. Leroy left the door open once more, and he didn't need a second invitation there, did Jimenez? He just decided, I'm having that, and took it with both hands. And Leroy, to his credit, dodged out of the way of him a little bit, but can't leave the door open there like that. But you get the feeling that maybe a couple of people are just a little bit out of position here. Victor Solano's back on a charge up the field again. And he's making short work of the people in front of him. And I wonder if these people... Obviously, we don't know this league particularly well. We'll get there in the end, I'm sure. But we'll start to learn who's who the quicker drivers are and how aggressive they can be. But yes, Solano looking rather aggressive here after a bad start. Looking to make up for lost position.
Yeah, Larson tucked up behind Ratu here. Round they go, down through Stowe, onto Vale, then coming down into Club. Turns 17, 16 and 17. They're going to go left. Larson's going to try and stay as close as they can. On lap 10 of 21. We've got 11 laps remaining. Can Larson get this job done? Can they get through here as well? Tucked up right behind him at the moment is here currently. Down through farm into village now. Turn 3. It's going to go up the inside. Larson, is they going to be able to get through? He's got the inside line with Ratu as well. There was contact. Larson's round. Wheel to wheel, and Larson goes round at the loop. And that is, Steve, I can only say happens when you end up side by side and you make wheel to wheel contact. Unfortunately, it wasn't the main wall of the tyre. It literally was. They went over the top of each other.
Yeah, difficult to see from the angle that we had on screen, but I wonder if the stewards are going to get involved in that one. But for the moment, it's Larson who comes worse off. Let's have a look at the replay. And look at this. Very, very difficult to follow so closely through the first two corners there with the dirty air. But let's have a look. It does look as though the car just comes across to his line. And it's on the inside car there. You've got to be very trusting of the inside car. And that they're not going to push you out too wide. But hard racing. That's what that is, and Larson, unfortunately, the one that comes off worst in that one. Yeah,
it looked like Larson didn't actually move there. It did look like Ratu come over, unfortunately, and just gave him a bit of a squeeze. The problem was, obviously, when they're squeezing each other, there was contact, and that's one of the things they want to, try and avoid them things because of the situations that they're in. You're racing wheel to wheel here. You can't just be trying to squeeze somebody on the outside. They ain't an orange that you can put into your juicer and give them a good old squeeze. It's not that. They can't disappear. They're not Harry Potter. You know what I mean? You've got to be thinking a little bit more conservatively than what they are now.
Certainly do, but you get the feel of that on the inside line there, that Ratu would have been compromised on his exit, with Larson getting the better exit there. Maybe he knew that and wanted to try and squeeze as much as possible to try and reduce the difference there, but does not work out. I imagine maybe a penalty coming his way for that one, but could also be considered a racing incident. There was space for Larson on the outside there, but he's not obligated to use that space. He put the car wherever he wants on the track. It's up to the other driver not to drive into him. We've got more action on track here between Potts and Vimont, and Potts is looking very racy this afternoon, up into 5th place already. Salander up into 3rd after a couple of untoward moments for drivers in front. That is some charge from Salander for the Swede, and he's up 7 positions. Jake Potts up 6. So some big gainers here in this race so far, and some fantastic racing to boot.
Yeah, they definitely have. And one of the things that is helping Zalander at the moment, and Vermont and Potts, is people in front have gone into the pits. Now, if you're wondering, they do have to have one mandatory pit stop with tyre change through the feature races. Failure to do so will result in a DQ for that race. No pit stop is required for the sprint race. I should hope not. It's like 5 laps. But they do have to make a pit stop throughout this feature, and that is why, because Mackenzie Roon, Kriegsman has pitted as well as Jeff Schroeder and Eric Leroy. So, and their guys are pitting there, but Vermont goes in now as well. And there, Jake Potts goes behind him. Zalander carries on once more. So not only have they got this 21 lap race to contend with, they've also got to try and muster in a pit stop where they don't end up losing so much time, but they've also got to work out whether or not the overcut or the undercut's going to be the strongest. And at the moment, we can't really give them any information because Mackenzie Roon here is on his run down now. He's not gone past them. He's just about to start going past the guys now. So for Mackenzie Roon, he's worked out okay because he's managed to work himself back up into 6th.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the strategy plays out with that, with the undercut ordinarily being the most powerful of the two. But you tend to find, especially in tight races such as these, if you pit too early, everybody else doesn't pit and you end up stuck behind somebody slow in traffic, and that costs you a boatload of time and causes problems for you. You've got nowhere to go, nowhere to kind of stretch your legs. So those drivers at the front there, Johnson, Aberdeen, Salander, Ratau and Jimenez, maybe looking to just kind of extend a little bit, maybe lifting and coasting a little bit to save a little bit of fuel in order to get themselves a nice clean track when they do pit. But we've got some action on track here between Mayorga and Potts, I believe that is, in front. And Mayorga is looking very racy, but got very close there. Had to back off a little bit. I'm noticing people are using a lot of the off track there as well. It's still, as long as you're on the curb, the black-white curb there on the inside going through the old pit straight, you are within track bounds. But Mayorga looking very racy here.
Yeah,
maybe line him up for the hanger straight, possibly.
Yeah, maybe as it comes through now. On the left-hander through Beckett's the right-hander before they go running on to Chapel. And at the moment, Arturo Mayorga chasing down Potts. He's chasing. Potts, the injured gazelle. Mayorga, the lion, as they go under the Johnny Walker Bridge now, down through Stowe. Is he going to be able to hang it on that exit curve there as well? He does catch the apex. Off he goes on through Vale, coming into Club now. He's going to go hard on the brakes. He's going to be looking now through Club. Nothing doing for Mayorga currently at the moment on the right hand now. All that run round Club and down the straight and into basically Abbey at the base here as well. And it's going to be tough for Mayorga, I think, to try and get through here, because it's very much the problem is for Mayorga is currently at the moment here, Steve, is not pitted. So regardless of where he is and who he's battling with, he hasn't pitted at the moment, which obviously, as we know, when you go into the pits, you will lose time, you will lose a lot of places at the same time. So for Mayorga, you've got a choice, fight Potts or go into the pits.
The other choice is just hang on to the back of him, use the toe of the faster driver ahead to try and improve your lap times until you do have to pit. But at this moment in time, you might be thinking that this isn't his fight. Up 10 positions, though, is Arturo, and he's doing a fantastic job so far.
Yeah, definitely there once more. Vermont is now coming into the picture behind him here, and then Larson with Schroeder and Villiers. Villiers has not pitted either here currently at the moment, so we've got a few drivers that have pitted and a few drivers that haven't as well. So you can see on their pit lap times there as well, Villiers has not gone in, and the top four, Ratu, Zalander, Aberdeen and Johnson are now into the pits. So it's going to be out to see what Mackenzie Roon here can do. Ratu's also in. Roon is coming round Stowe. They've got to go in, they've got to change tyres, and they've got off down through Vale as well. Where is Johnson? He's only just stopped, has Johnson. So there they are, Johnson, Aberdeen, Zalander is just coming in, Ratu as well. But I got a funny feeling here, Steve. Roon may take this lead here as well. Johnson and Aberdeen are still just about to be making their moves out. And at the moment, Roon nearly gets it, but gets into third place. So Mackenzie Roon there pulled an early one and took himself into third.
Yeah, brilliant strategy call from Roon. He's done a fantastic job to get himself into big contention here at the front. But has he got the pace to stay there? These guys who were leading the race are rapid. They've been dominating so far with lap after lap. Just putting in those times so far. And Roon's got to really step it up a gear now in order to keep up with them and keep Salander, Potts, Ratau, Mayorga behind Environment as well on a charge. These guys, a couple of guys who are out of position at the start of this race, Solano especially, are going to be looking to get these moves done early. But not long to go now. We're up 11 of 21, I believe.
Lap 14 currently at the moment here. So we're on lap 14 of 21. We've got 7 remaining. Ratu and Zalander fighting it out here once more. Then you've got, Zalander and Potts scrapping away. This is a battle for 5th and 6th. Both of these gentlemen up 5 places, making their way now on the right-hander of Beckett's before they get on to Chapel. And then on that run, down now, here we go. From Chapel, they're on the hanger straight. They're going to be side by side. Potts and Zalander. Literally, is Zalander going to try and give him a squeeze? He's come over a little bit on Potts. He can try to make it as difficult. Oh, contact!
Oh, big contact, and that is race over for Zalander. He had the inside line there. From my perspective, it looked as though Potts just turned in to him, but we need to see that again. Let's have a look. Yep, hits the back wheel. Possibility that Zalander's just kind of, he's understeered a little bit. It doesn't look like he's hitting the apex as well. You may have to call that one a racing incident, but that is very unfortunate for Zalander. He was doing so well, and now Jake Potts up into 5th place, 6 positions gained, and but yeah, maybe a penalty coming his way. But first impressions from that is maybe just a racing incident, but I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that and decide one way or the other. But that's not ideal for Zalander. Such a great race he was having to that point. Thomas Siros is there in chat saying, come on, Mecca Esports. So got some farm boys in the chat from Mecca. Great to see.
Yeah, I'm wondering, though, if the fact that Zalander was never going to make the apex, that could also lend itself to the steward's decision, I think, here as well. Because obviously, by the looks of what we saw, wasn't making that apex. He was not making the apex. We'll try and go back a little bit. This is the run in. You can see Zalander on the right hand side.
It looks, yeah. I've got to say, from my perspective, I think that's just a racing incident. Obviously, we need more angles. Like the stewards will get every angle in the book to see what was going on there. But it did look as though Zalander wasn't really making that corner at all, to be honest. He looked like he was the one who understeered very wide, took a strange line well off the apex, and I imagine Potts expected him to be on that apex, turned in accordingly. So racing incident, we'll remain wait to see after the race what happens with that. But at the moment, Rune absolutely flying as it stands, and sitting it pretty on a podium position here, and only 8/10 off 2nd place. Lee Aberdeen, the Australian, there in 2nd, but Alex Johnson absolutely flying at the moment. 4 seconds the gap to 2nd place, and he looks comfortable out there.
Yeah, he definitely does at the moment. He's just really now, it's almost what we class as a Sunday drive here, Steve. He's just poodling around, doing what he needs to do, and literally 3.9 seconds out. Rune has lost now time to Aberdeen, has dropped out by nearly a second. Oh, it's teetering on that second. And then Vermont and Ratu and Solano here as well. They're spread over about 1.3 seconds between the 3 of them. And then we've got Alexander Shana all the way down here in 18th. Is trying to make up gaps on, I believe, that was Cleore. And it does go through there as well on Cleore, and now Cleore drops down to 18th, while Shana goes into 17th. Of course, Shana had his own issues earlier on in the race as well, but at the moment now trying to make his way through the field, currently sitting in 18th. Ratu and Vermont going to be going at it as well, as we're on lap 16 of 21. So hopefully these guys might come together over the next couple of laps.
Yeah, we've got Solano in the background there as well, joining in onto this fight. These two are teammates, Ratau and Vimont, for the same team that Mr. Siros was cheering for in the chat. An all-French team called Mecca Esport, and these guys should hopefully be working together in order to keep Solano behind. Solano out of position after a spin at the start. He's only down 1 position so far, so he's done a great job to recover, but he's got a French wall in front of him at the moment, and these guys are surely going to try and block him in, squeeze him wide make this as difficult as possible for him to pass. Weimont is hopefully relying on Solano to do the business for him in defence.
Yeah, I think they're going to need to. I think they are going to struggle, mind you, but I think they're going to need to because Solano was putting some pace in earlier on. It looks like Cliore has had his own little moment here as well. I can probably guarantee coming out of the loop, he's probably overcooked it on the loud pedal, and yes. And that, my dear sir, is what we have seen multiple times before. So there we go on lap 16 for Cliore, but Vermont, Ratu and Zolano. Zolano's dropped back about 1.2 here. I can't really see Solano getting onto the back of these guys.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. He's got a lot of dirty air to contend with as well, and you need to be able to follow closely through that dirty air in order to get a pass here at Silverstone. But we are seeing a lot of mistakes, like you say, coming out of the slow corners, that very twisty, the loop in the village as well. Very tricky to get the power down in such powerful cars. Obviously not as powerful as an F1 car, but they've still got plenty of beef in the engine in order to send you spinning the wrong way. As we said at the beginning of this, looks easy on paper, Silverstone. Looks quite wide and all the corners are not particularly technical, but it's not that easy, really. It's incredibly difficult to drive the car at the limit around this track. You need to use the entire width of the track all of the time, and we've seen that a couple of times already with Chapel, the gravel on the exit there, and with the loop as well, the gravel on the exit there, catching people out, dripping a wheel into there. The car does not like that at all. So very easy to make mistakes on your own, never mind with other drivers on the track.
Definitely there as well. Of course, being on slick tyres, and we all know the grass in iRacing is nothing more than ice. And the gravel, well, it has its moments where it might slow you down, and then at other times you're in the wall. So either way, they've got to be very, very careful here as they want to try and get this completion. They need this completion, don't they, really, to be able to put some points on the board going into the sprint race, which we've got coming up after this.
Yeah, a 5-minute warm-up between the two. The sprint race, I imagine, because obviously at this stage of this race, we're looking at a lot of the large gaps throughout the field, but in the sprint race, those are all going to be a little bit tighter, and I imagine people are going to be a fair bit more aggressive in a sprint. A lot less time to make a recovery if you do get it wrong, though. So I wonder, it's going to be a battle of the cojones, really, and see who's got the balls to make the big moves in the early stages. But at the stands at the moment, Alex Johnson looks untouchable. Fastest lap of the race with a 151.325, a good 0.2 faster than anybody else out there.
Yeah, it definitely is absolutely flying here as well. It looks like Ratu and Vermont are not really making any changes. Mayorga currently, though, has Darius Rakaskas. I'm going to presume that would be correct. If I am wrong, please DM me and tell me that. But we will see now here as well what Darius can do as they go off that run down through Copse. They're going to try side by side into Maggots and Beckett's. How's this one going to work out? Are they going to both make it through? We go now looking at them as a sweeping round, and wow, Darius got the job done before they even got into Beckett's there as well, and sweeps round Mayorga like he's just stood still.
Very unusual place to make a move. That could leave the door open for him going into Stowe, but it looks like he's got the pace, and it doesn't look like Mayorga's looking to fight that one back into Stowe at all. But great move from there. That's a lot of bravery involved in that kind of situation, and he's come out smelling of roses, you've got to say.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. That was a difficult position to try and gain by doing it that way here. So yeah, very, very brave there. Vermont and Ratu are side by side, are currently near enough at the moment. Do we expect team orders, do we think? Or do we think they will be given the rights to race, shall we say there, Steve?
I think it might be a little bit too early in the season for team orders of any kind, but looks like they're going to go side by side in a very dangerous part of the track as they're coming through now. I believe this is going to be either Copse or Turn 1. I cannot tell. It's Turn 1.
Yeah. Down through Copse.
That's, beg my pardon. Well, it was the old Turn 1, so I was half right, but looks like Rato has got through. It doesn't look like Weimont really fought that particularly hard. Maybe they're thinking about Solano behind, who's now caught back up, is right on the tail of these guys. Ratau might be saying in voice chat, come on, I'm much quicker here. I've got a couple of tenths in me, let me through. But now, Solano may be looking to push for a late move into Stowe. It doesn't look like he's going to go for it here. But Vimont...
Oh, yes!
Oh, he does go for it. What a lunge that is. What a move. He left the door open, Vimont, and Solano just said, thank you very much, I'll have that. No problem. That's like an early Christmas gift, that.
Yeah,
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, and as we normally say here as well, you know, if you're going to leave the door open like that, mate, you are definitely going to get burgled of that position, because Vermont left it wide open. Solano then had a go. Solano's now going to turn in. Oh, Vermont there as well. Sticks their nose up the inside of Solano, tries to have a go. And nothing, well, to be honest, nothing doing in the position swap. But boy, oh boy, that could have been dangerous for them.
Oh, I mean, Vimont is not happy with that lunge. He wants payback. It's starting to get a bit of elbows out action here. And yeah, he was definitely looking up the inside of turn 1 there. And yeah, almost made a very dangerous move. But Solano saw him coming. Didn't close the door, funnily enough, but maybe he thought if he pulled it to the right-hand side to defend the inside, it would compromise him through farm and maybe cost him the position down into village. So all good, all ends well. I'll get that saying eventually, kind of thing. All is good that ends well. They've gone through it in the end and managed it, but now Solano on the back of Ratau, and Ratau really needed a bit more defence from his teammate there, and looks like he's going to be a sitting duck down the hanger straight now into Stowe. Look how quick Solano is through Maggots and Beckett. He got so close to the back of Ratau, and now he's got a great slipstream all the way down into Stowe. Defending early is Ratau. Romain getting the inside line. He's got alongside. He's got a nose ahead here. Does Solano? Is he going to be able to hang it around the outside? It's so tight. He's managed to do it just about. He's going to get the inside now to Club. Is he going to defend that inside from the late lunge? He's not, and he goes for the late lunge there and doesn't get it done. He just braked a little bit too early with that lunge. Maybe he needed to kind of be a bit more aggressive with that, push Solano off his line.
Yeah.
Solano through with some fantastic racing, you've got to say. He's been aggressive there. He's been decisive in his moves and decisive in his defence, and he's come out brilliantly after that. Managed to gain 2 positions in as many laps.
Yeah, it definitely has, but that does allow Romain Ratou and Vermont back fighting it out here once more for this Mecha Esport team. Is this going to be team orders? Are we going to see a swap? Are the gentlemen going to be full ball racing? We are on the final lap of the race. Johnson on his run down into Copse for the final time. Literally got about half a lap remaining now. Johnson, I've got to say though, Steve's been absolutely dominant. 5.1 seconds out in front for the Alcantech NHR team. Just dominating. Nobody near him.
Yep, fastest lap of the race, got it on pole, took the lead of the race, and has not looked back. He's just been very, very comfortable out there. It's almost like Max Verstappen on a normal F1 weekend, to be fair. But we've not been short of great racing up and down the grid. I've got to say, Roon and Kriegsman as well have done a fantastic job. They've managed to jump several positions there and do very well in the pit stops, and are in positions that belie their I rating. They've got a number of drivers who are more than 1,000 I rating ahead of them, but they're busy battling in the background amongst themselves, leaving these two to just
Johnson comes over the line. Johnson takes the victory in the feature race there as well. Stellar job from Johnson. There goes Lee Aberdeen. Here comes Mackenzie Roon as well. Job done for him in this feature. It is a 3rd place for Roon. Kreutzmann comes over the line now as well. Then it's going to be Jake Potts in 5th place. What about this Vermont battle here currently at the moment? Vermont has unfortunately dropped down the order, been off track, and now Rachel Jimenez has jumped him for the top 9. Great job by her, as she's now in 9th place, goes over the line in 9th there as well, and a stellar job. So Vermont did go off track there. I wonder if that was just on his own. It was over the grass, and unfortunately onto Chapel there, doing a little more pirouettes than a ballerina there as well. So Vermont, unfortunately, off the side of the circuit. And Darius here down in 15th, who's going to be coming over the line as well. He just can't get near Zalander, and Darius does finish off. Then we're going to have Randolph Smith, Alexander Shana, and Dominic Cleore will be the last ones there as well. But Johnson, at the moment, dominant in the feature race. Let's see what they're going to be able to do in this sprint race here as well, which will be coming up in about 5 minutes' time. Gives a chance for the drivers and us to get a drink once more here as well. So Smith does come over the line, then Shana, then Cleore. So hopefully, Steve, if that's what the feature does, maybe the sprint could do the same.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see even more sharp elbows out on the track for the sprint. A sprint of only 5 or 6 laps is generally going to create that kind of aggressive racing environment that we love to see so much here in the commentary booth. But as you say, what a race from Alex Johnson, and fantastically done. He's champion for a reason, reigning champion in F3 in the iFL league, and it's looking like he's on a charge to do it again. Making it look easy.
Definitely is there as well. But here are the results of Heat 1. Alex Johnson is in first place. Lee Aberdeen finishes second, 4.8 seconds back. Mackenzie Roon there in third place with Tico Kriegsman in fourth. Jake Potts fifth. Victor Solano finishes in sixth place. Romain Ratu in seventh. Frederick Larson in eighth. Rachel Jimenez, she's down in ninth. Eric Leroy 10th. Arturo Mayorga in 11th. Vakaris Villius in 12th. Andre Zalander 13th. Darius Rakiskas in 14th. Kevin Vermont down in 15th after we saw him have that spin. Randolph Smith in 16th. Alexander Shana at 17th. Dominatus Cleore in 18th. And Carlos Navarro down in 19th place there. So, yeah, tough for some of these drivers here, Steve. But for others, yeah, they had a good day at the office.
Certainly did, yeah. And early stages of the championship, it's important to get those points on the board. Very, very important to get that early so that you're not giving yourself too much work to do for the remainder of the season. You do not want to be catching up at the end of the season. And so far, Alex Johnson, absolutely dominant. And this allows him maybe the opportunity to miss a race or two and still hold on to his championship. But the man is expected to be up there. He has the highest I rating out of any driver here with 5,887 I rating. And closest man to him is Lee Aberdeen with 5,248. So big gaps between well, you never know from track to track, but big gaps between the skill levels of some of the drivers. We've got lowest I rating driver is in the thousands though. So it's providing us with a lot of very tight, intense racing, particularly in that midfield battle where we've got all the 2,000-3,000 driver I rating drivers really battling it out and not giving much in the way of space to each other on track. We saw a couple of incidents there. I wonder how involved the stewards will be, but for the most part, I've got to say that was very clean, that feature race. I'm hoping to see some more of the same for the sprint.
Yeah, definitely as well. So Alex Johnson adds 30 points to his total. Of course, here the top 18 do score points all the way in 18th when you get 1. Then fastest lap 1, 0x is also 1. Now we're moving on to the F3 sprint where they've got 18 points up for grabs. And again, the fastest lap and 0x as well. So technically, if Johnson goes out and dominates this one as well here, they've got 20 points that he will be able to gain there, Steve. And that to go with his 30, say, as well, if he's had a 0x 31, and then obviously if he's got the fastest lap 32, Johnson's going to be dominating.
Certainly is, but he's got work to do in this one because I believe we said at the beginning it's going to be the top 12 reverse grid, so he's going to start 12th here in this sprint, and only 5 laps to make up 12 positions is a tall order. That's his job if he's capable of it. He certainly seems quick enough, but we didn't see a great deal of his racecraft because he was out there all on his own, Max Verstappen style. So it'd be interesting to see how he does wheel to wheel with people and how he manages to get these overtakes, how aggressive he is with those overtakes. I'm going to say Solano. He reminds me very much of Alberto Solano, the ex-Newcastle and Paraguay international footballer. Can't get over that, personally, but he was very aggressive with his overtakes. He ended up spanning around in the early stages and made a great recovery drive. And that dive into Stowe, I didn't see it coming. I don't think the guy in front saw it coming at all. And it made for some great excitement.
Yeah, definitely did here as well. We got 4.5 minutes of the warm-up gone by, and we've still got about 30 seconds left there as well. Don't forget, guys, you can check out www.extremescoring.info on the links below as well, thebuttkicker.com, and also the iFormulaLeague.com as well. Paladin Haptics is also one of the league's sponsors here this evening as well. So a great job, and many thanks to all of these guys for that one as well. But please go and check them out on the links down in the description below, and you will be able to find out all the information. Now, this warm-up session has just about finished here. Most drivers went and sat and had a cup of tea, probably, or, toilet break, or whatever the situation was there. But whatever it is, they have gone and done it. Now, here is the grid for race 2. Vacaris Villiers is in first, Arturo Mayorga second, Eric Leroy third, Rachel Jimenez, she's sitting in fourth at the moment, Frederick Larson fifth, Romain Ratu sixth, Victor Solano seventh, Jake Potts eighth, Taco Kriesman in ninth, Mackenzie Roon 10th, Lee Aberdeen 12th, and Alex Johnson down, Lee Aberdeen 11th, and Alex Johnson down in 12th. Then you got Andre Zalander, Darius Rakakis, Kevin Vermont, Randolph Smith, Alexander Shana, Dominantes Cleore, Carlos Navarro, Jeff Schroeder, Marion Barbaro, and Weston Epps, who, of course, we know had a somewhat challenging race in race 1. The interesting thing here now will be, Steve, is whether or not Villiers can jump off the front, but we are going to find out when the lights are coming on. 5 laps remaining of this race, and Villiers does get the car off the line now. Arturo Mayorga looks at sneaking up the inside as they're going on that run down into Abbey. There's going to be, Mayorga tightens it up and unfortunately loses that place to Eric Leroy. Rachel Jimenez is trying to go around the outside currently at the moment here of Village. There's a big one at the back.
Big crash there, yeah. Cars flipped upside down there. That's somebody out of the race altogether. It looks like
Kriesman
is down and out as well. Let's have a replay of that. That looked spicy. It's getting very tight.
Yeah, Ratu there unfortunately goes on the brakes, and up the inside, over they go, Kriesman. And then everybody else comes through after that one. I'm just going to write chaos down on my little sheet of paper. We've got Mackenzie Roon, Tycho Kriesman, Alex Johnson, your winner, of course, Darius from there as well. Romain Rat was involved in that, Andre Zalander, Randolph Smith, Jeff Schroeder, Dominantes Cleore also involved in that one. So it looked like a tough one here as well, and it looks like Vermont has also had a moment here as well. Barbaro, I presume that is going to be Barbaro who's going to...
That doesn't look good. You've got to say that does not look good. And I don't know if I've cursed it myself by praising these guys for their racecraft and things, but that did not go to plan there in turn 1. We saw a very horrible rejoin there as well. So I've got, and I know in certain terms, I think there's definitely going to be some penalties coming for some of these guys after the race. The stewards are not going to be happy with that at all. That does shake up the order massively now for this sprint. We've got Johnson down at the P14. Maybe some people with damage there as well. They've got a fast repair. But yeah, so going to have to come into the pits, get that fixed, and that's a goodbye race for Johnson, really. But that does open the door for other people to take advantage. We've got Villiers, who's started in first, has pulled a second gap out there, got the fastest lap in there as well. But Jake Potts, up 6 positions, has managed to get into P2. He's taken great advantage of that early chaos. But the biggest winner so far is Carlos Navarro, who's gone from P19 to P9. Him and Alexander Shanna have absolutely flown through the smoke and the debris and gained hugely here. But we've got Rachel Jimenez. She's looking up the inside here now on Mayorga, and let's see if she can get this done down the inside into Brooklands, and it looks easy as you like. There you go. That's how you overtake
Yes,
Brilliant job.
Solano goes through on Jimenez there as well. So from Solano's point of view, stellar job, moves him up into 4th place over Rachel Jimenez. She drops down into 5th at the moment. Ayutoro Mayorga is just a little bit up the road, and he's not going to be wanting to see the sight of Solano closing in. Villiers also as well, with Potts making inroads into him currently at the moment, nearly just under that second gap there, but Solano has pulled out absolutely chunks over Mayorga. Can Mayorga hang on? Time will only tell, as they're going to go under the Johnny Walker Bridge now here on the current circuit that we are running, which is Silverstone, down into Stowe. Mayorga goes on the defensive. Solano's going to say, well, it doesn't really matter to me, but he's going to try that cutback coming out of Stowe there, Steve. Mayorga didn't really defend, but he didn't really attack, and he definitely didn't defend there. And Solano says, thank you very much, I'll have that one as well. And now for Mayorga is Rachel Jimenez tucked up right behind him as well.
Yeah, this is the beauty of the reverse grid start, is you get the quicker drivers out of position, and allows us to see great overtakes like that from Solano. He's proven to be a very aggressive driver, but he doesn't look unclean in any sense
2
of
seconds.
the matter.
Potts has just gone past Villiers there as well. So Potts takes the lead of the race, did it on that run through farm into village, and Potts has got through on Villiers and has now taken that lead. Solano has cleared Mayorga. Jimenez is trying to make his move up as well, and then behind that you've got Larson, who's fighting it out with Eric Leroy here as well. Larson goes on a big defense there, trying to stop that inside run into Brooklands and Luffield. But Larson with Leroy there as well. But Potts got the job done, overtook Villiers for the lead, and now Mayorga has got to be defending better against Jimenez than he did against Solano at the moment, because if he does that again, Jimenez is going to take that position away as well.
Yeah, Jimenez looking at Racy at the moment and moving left and right into the mirrors, trying to unsettle Mayorga and cause him a problem. And it looks like he's going to have one out of Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel down the hanger straight. He's going to be a sitting duck if he doesn't get the tow from Solano, which he's already out of. Struggling and gets a bit of a swapper there in Maggots and Beckett's. And that's going to mean that Jimenez has to check up a little bit to avoid crashing into them. And now they run down to Stowe. He's defending the inside. He's defending hard, but he needs to defend Club more importantly. It doesn't look as though Jimenez is going to get the run into Stowe, though. He's going to get a good exit here out of Stowe. Don't know. Let's have a look and see what happens.
All right, so going down now through Vale. Rachel Jimenez, she is climbing all over Mayorga. Is Mayorga going to hang on to that top 4 as we go on to lap 4? We've got this and one more here as well. Mayorga goes on the defensive again. Jimenez is going to try that outside line now. Down into Abbey they go. Nearly contact. Jimenez now sweeps around the outside, going to try the outside line, then blocks off Mayorga straight away as well, and Jimenez does go through there once more, takes that 4th place. Stellar job by Rachel Jimenez. She's absolutely flying here as well. Mackenzie Roon looks like he's had a bit of an incident, unfortunately for Roon. What have you been up to, young sir? And let's see. That's unfortunate. Yeah, Schroeder and Roon had a coming together. And unfortunately for Mackenzie Roon, it's a straight back jump to the pits, of course, there as well. Jimenez and Mayorga are crashed into each other.
Oh, we need to see what happened there. That is going to be a very interesting thing. This is down at Luffield. Yep, it looks like Mayorga's gone for the inside. It was not on. He's lost it and careened into the side. They've been glued together, as sometimes happens in iRacing. Oh, that is very unfortunate for Jimenez. Did nothing wrong there from my perspective. Looks like Mayorga just locked up the back brakes there. Got the back end overtaking his front end, and that's never a good sight. You don't want to see your own rear wing coming past you at any stage of any race.
No, definitely
least of all, as you're trying to make a move up the inside. That was maybe never on, really, that move. And yeah, that's unfortunate. I imagine stewards are going to be out with a little notepad and clipboard and making a note of that one as well. But unfortunately for Jimenez, lost out on a great position and finished there in the sprint. Lap 4 of 5, not going to go. Mayorga is out and will not be coming back by the looks of things. Looks like Jimenez is still going, thankfully.
Yeah, Rachel Jimenez now, and is sitting in 8th place at the moment. Vermont is back up 8th places here, chasing down Leroy. We are on the final lap of the race. We've got Ratu and Johnson battling it out down in 11th and 12th at the moment. This, of course, is your feature race winner, Johnson, with Ratu and Schroeder. Of course, we saw Schroeder have that spin, and then Rune come round and unfortunately took the front wing off of Schroeder there. Well, you can see he's got it back on now at the moment, and you know, Schroeder does lose that. I thought he was going to lose that position on that run through farm. Johnson says, well, if you're not going to have a go at him, I'll have a go at you. And Johnson sweeps past Ratu. Down through the loop they go. Your leader is on his way down through Cops here. We'll pick him up very, very shortly as he goes going to go sweeping through Maggots and Beckett's. But it looks like Potts is going to get this, and it looks like Johnson is also going to get this one as well. Sweeping around the outside into Brooklands goes Johnson here, Steve. Trying to get some of their places back as well, but Schroeder's not giving up.
No, he's not making that easy for him at all, but he gets it done in fantastic style, and that is the mark of a great racing driver. He took his opportunities where he had them, and he was given an open door there by Schroeder and Ratau, and he just took both of them. Now, Schroeder is going to go up the inside into Cops, and that's contact, and that is very unfortunate for Alex Johnson, and he's not going to be happy with that. That is what's known as the vortex of danger. You're not supposed to stick your nose up the inside of Cops like that. Ask Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton what happens when you do that. That is probably a penalty.
Steve, 2 seconds. J Potts coming over the line. Going to be taking that victory. Potts takes the victory here as well. Villiers in second. Solano comes over the line in third place there as well. And Solano does a great job. Andre Zalander is still fighting out with Darius here as well. Zalander's going to slip up the inside, and Zalander will steady on there, sir. Not quite sure that was quite needed, but then again, if you're going to do that, unfortunately, that's what's going to happen to you, Mr. Zalander, sir. Sweeping across somebody's nose like that going into the braking zone. Not entirely sure that's the best way of dealing with that. Probably one move. We aren't weaving jumpers here on the straight, and I'm pretty sure my grandma is not knitting. So, you know, you've got to be a little bit more sensible, and you can't be doing that, because unfortunately for Zalander, that is what happens to you when you go and make a move in that braking zone there as well. So, yeah, not too sure if Zalander's got much complaints about that one, to be honest. However, that's probably not going to help you either. So we can have a look at the results from that feature race here as well. And let's see what goes on. Potts is your winner. Took that run, that lead over Vacaris Villiers, who manages to hold on to second place there. Victor Solano is in third with Alexander Shana fourth. Kevin Vermont down in fifth, battled his way back, of course, up 10 places from his 15th. Eric Leroy in sixth. Rachel Jimenez, she's in seventh. Carlos Navarro, eighth. Lee Aberdeen, ninth. Romain Ratu in 10th, Darius Rakakis in 11th, Andre Zalander in 12th, Alex Johnson 13th, had contact with Schroeder. I'm sure that's going to be looked at there as well. Arturo Mayorga down in 15th place currently at the moment as well, finishes off there with Dominantas Cleore in 16th, Frederick Larson 17th, Mackenzie Rune 18th, and Mariam Barbarou in 19th place there as well. And I believe we lost Western Epps right at the beginning of the race there. So, you know, tough for Western, but did have a horrible feature there, Steve, as well. Great racing overall. I think there's a Lander incident towards the end. They've got to be looking at that. You surely can't come across at somebody like that. And, you know,
well,
it's
from a racing driver's perspective, you've kind of... You've got that right. He's clear. He wants to defend the inside line. I think it's a different kettle of fish. I think it's just there. He's got the space on the inside. I would judge that personally as a racing incident. Everybody's got the space required. I think this move to the left from Solander is what I would do in that position. You've got to defend that inside line. Otherwise, you're leaving the door open for the guy on the inside to just take that move back. But It's a tough one to call, really. I don't envy the stewards at that one. But fastest lap of the sprint race goes to Jake Potts with a 151.6. He gets that extra point for that, but he did not get no off track. So there's a few drivers getting a lovely little extra point here for the off track. I would say that sprint race, Alexander Shanna, 13 places gained. Absolutely fantastic race and fantastic result. 4th place. Really belying his I rating there. Did a fantastic job to keep things under control and nice and easy in that sprint race without causing himself too many problems. Carlos Navarro also fantastic job, 11 positions gained there in that sprint. That chaos at the beginning definitely was a godsend for a few of those drivers.
It definitely was there as well. Just seeing if we can get anyone in for a chat. I don't believe currently we have got anybody in for a chat here as well. It's something we can work on as the season goes on, of course, here once more. But for now, guys, I think that's pretty much going to round out today's broadcast. And what a race it's been here at Silverstone. Don't forget, on the JPB YouTube channel, coming up this evening, we've got the Radical European SR10 Championship. That's with Adam Hedgecock and Mr. Dean Biggles. We've got Tanzo Racing Group Round 4 coming up here as well with Callum Milam, and then the IGP Formula 3 Round 8 live from Donington with myself and also Ewan O'Leary. And then if you're a late bird, at 1:45 in the morning, we've got the America's SR10 Championship here as well. So we've still got plenty more racing to come for you on this Sunday night, and we'll look forward to it there as well. And just as I was about to close off, we've got Jake Potts in the waiting room. Jake, how are you, sir?
I am doing awesome. I had a terrible qualifying and then had a pretty decent feature to get back up in the top 10 and then an awesome sprint. So I'm pretty thrilled with that dub there.
Yeah, 7 places gained in the sprint as well. You know, 5 laps, that's not bad gain at all, is it?
Not at all. I had a really good first sector and took care of a lot of cars there, and then only had a couple to worry about after that. And it looked like there was a massive accident into turn 3 on lap 1, so that took care of a lot of the fast guys. With that reverse grid, they're all behind you, so just had to focus on getting ahead of the last couple cars, and was thankfully able to do that.
Yeah, you're definitely a pacer as well. Fastest lap as well, 1:51.62, so a nice little bit of a bonus. Did you finish it off with a 0x though?
I did not. I think I had one incident. No, I had two. I had 2 there. So much cleaner than my feature race where I had 14x and was having to be real careful at the end.
Going forward though, Jake, as well, any particular tracks you're looking forward to for the rest of the season?
We've got Spa coming up, so I'm really looking forward to Spa. It's a classic. And then Magny Cours is going to be new to the schedule. And when we raced the official there, I had quite a few victories, so I'm really looking forward to that one too. That's like one of my specialty tracks there. Yeah,
it should definitely be an exciting one. Well, Jake, thank you so much for joining us there, bud. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Just huge shout out to Knox and Lumos, the academies, for making it happen, and keep doing this stuff. It's awesome.
Awesome stuff. Well, Jake, thanks so much for joining us there, bud, and we look forward to having a chat with you as the season goes on.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
Well, there you go, Steve. If you can sum up the racing here today, what would you say about it?
I'll have to say I was very, very impressed with the entire thing. We got some great racing out of it. We got some drama out of it as well with that huge crash turn 3 in the sprint race as well. I'm sure the stewards are going to be busy boys in the next couple of weeks. But takeaway from this is we've got some fantastic drivers here in this league. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of this. This was brilliant racing.
It definitely was right there, guys, as well. Thank you so much for joining us from myself and Steve Karabelas up here in the JPB Broadcasting booth. Don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on the bells. Plenty more racing coming up for you as well. But for now, guys, from myself and Steve here, have a great week. Take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.